everyday life coach.
And I am Kenyatta, a therapist at Atlanta Couple Therapy.
And I'm Dr. Lewis, the founder of Atlanta Couple Therapy. If you want to connect with us, go to atlantacoupletherapy.com.
Welcome to If I Was Your Therapist, where we break down your favorite Black movies
and give advice as therapists
to specific situations that pull at all our heartstrings.
I'm going to dive into Angela and Marcus, and I would love you guys' insight on that. So, Angela, we all know her. She's famous for her memes, her voice, very loud, boisterous, feisty, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Marcus, low-key the opposite of that. Very dismissive, very passive-aggressive. He's non-confrontational. He don't want the smoke at all. But he married the smoke, so that's very interesting. But with that situation, I find that when you're dealing with couples that are opposites, you're going to find that individual therapy is going to be very important. It's necessary. Like even with Atlanta Couple Therapy, what I realized with the process is that individual time where you can learn the person one-on-one, that's going to help you cultivate what you're going to do with them as a couple. Now with them, if I had them as a couple, my whole spiel would be, all right, labeling them. Okay, you're a high conflict couple. There's going to be a lot of arguing. There's going to be a lot of de-escalating. There's going to be a lot of conflict resolution. So giving them those type of tools, a specific task that I would like them to do is mirroring. Because I feel like a big issue that they have is lack of trust, and they don't know how to communicate. So if I could get them to repeat what they're saying to each other, what did you hear him say? Now, what did you hear her say? And if I could get them to actually do that, then they could possibly bridge the gap in a lot of their issues. But one issue that was set aside was the infidelity. He had a baby mama. He always went back to that baby mama because she made it easy for him. And she understood that he did not like conflict, so she would not give him any, which is the opposite of his wife. So when you're dealing with a couple that are opposites, you will find that if there's infidelity, the person they're cheating with is probably more like them. So you would address that, of course, but my biggest thing with them is just using those communication exercises so they can try to get on the same page. But I know that we would have a time. It would be a time.
There would be a lot of redirecting in that session. I imagine if I were seeing them, it would be big on helping Angela to not attack Marcus for his character, regulate her emotions, but help him to understand how his behaviors are making her feel without it being confrontational. Because he is the type of person to shut down. So I completely agree with your approach of the mirroring. That's really going to help them.
And then after he has worked on shutting down, I would work with him on taking accountability. Yeah. I think he has an issue with taking accountability, of course, because you don't want to confront the issue, but taking accountability for the issue will really de-escalate a lot of that anger that she's having. Absolutely. Because the fact that he's not taking accountability is pouring gasoline on the fire.
If he were just to say, I struggle with this, I'm having a hard time, and I mean, that's tough to say. When you are stepping out in your relationship, nobody want to say, I struggle with this, I'm having a hard time not cheating, or these are the things that lead me to cheat, but that's what therapy is for. It really helps you to understand your person's going to need this in order to forgive you. Because that road to forgiveness and rebuilding trust,
baby,
it's going to be hard.
Because he literally was answering honestly, but it was like the normal answer that a man would give that will literally light a woman's panties on fire. He was just saying, I don't know. I don't know. And she's just like, you just don't want to tell me. And he's not realizing she's thinking worst case scenario. You don't love me. I'm not attractive. Whatever those things are, whatever those intrusive thoughts are, they're winning. And by him not speaking up, he's letting them win.
Exactly. He's reinforcing them.
I think that Angela definitely needs anger management.
For sure.
And just really teaching her how to step into his shoes, because I imagine that it might have been something that led him there. Maybe he is not aware of it right now, what the thing is, but through couples therapy, like, it will help him to uncover, like, what was it? Like, what was happening at that moment when I first started to get with this person? Like, what was going on? What was happening between us? And if she was able to empathize with him, to really hear what he was saying, it could transform their whole marriage.
That's real. because that's honestly what the baby mama was probably doing, empathizing,
Yeah.
and it probably wasn't even real. It was just
Right.
empathizing just
In
to
the
get the
moment.
attention,
Just
just
for
to
the
get the
moment.
affection. So
She likely was listening to him. So
Mm.
many of my couples that I'll ask, what was it about the other person that
Mhm.
led you to step out? Is that they listened to me, they affirmed me, they congratulated me, they complimented
the
me.
small
The
things.
simplest things that they're missing in that relationship. Not making excuses and not saying that it's okay for infidelity, but it comes from somewhere.
That's such a good point. That is a really good point of really exploring what was it about the affair relationship that gave that pull. And I love what you said about listening because sometimes people just want to be heard.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we are, doing what we do is that as counselors and coaches, like people want to be heard. And sometimes your therapist is the first person that you might ever even really share some of this stuff
No,
with.
that's true. Like literally before I started life coaching, I was doing empathetic listening, where
Mm.
I was literally just listening to people vent, and I was literally charging $40 for 30 minutes. You would just vent. I wouldn't say anything. What? That's literally it, and they will feel so much better
But
afterwards.
imagine if Angela had somebody to vent with besides, her,
Yeah.
besides Marcus.
Right.
Like if she really had a space to just say, this is what's going on, this is how I'm feeling, and someone like you to like listen and take in like what she's saying, she probably wouldn't be on 10 as much with Marcus. Make sure you tune in to our next episode where we will be exploring all of your favorite Black movies. And if you want to connect with us, then definitely go to AtlantaCoupleTherapy.com so that you can book your session today. And I'm going to throw it to Miss Cookie over here.
And if you want a live coaching session with me, swipe up on my DMs at Cook's Neighborhood. At right here.